Samuel and Stroh are coming on now with me to have their say to talk about this game. Gents, welcome back to the show. I'm going to go to you first, Stroh. Disappointing result, I would assume. Give me your thoughts on the game in general, mate.
Extremely poor from us for large parts of the game. Look, I don't mind that we were trying to spring traps on him. The first goal, right? I don't mind the passing to McAllister or the idea of the passing to McAllister because there's three of them on him. All it has to do is a simple bounce back and Van Dijk can clip it in behind and Diaz is free. The weight of the pass is absolutely shocking and it just leaves McAllister completely exposed. So the first goal is on Van Dijk. Get ourselves back into the game and once again an absolute shit show from fucking VAR and an absolute mess from the referee. In what planet is that not a red card? And then I've seen the excuse already, Szoboszlai is not in control of the ball. You played football? I've played football. I've watched football for 30 years. It's literally, as the ball from Nunes goes back into Szoboszlai, he's about to tap it in with his left foot into an empty goal. That is a blatant goal-scoring opportunity if I've ever seen one. And it's a stone-cold red card. Once again, for whatever reason, it doesn't get given. But even then, leave that to one side for a minute. What on earth is Andy Robertson doing? He's an international captain. He's got over 200 Premier League appearances. He can even go with his head if he doesn't trust his right foot. But he's a Premier League footballer on God knows how much wages. At what point can you not go with your right foot? How do you not trust yourself there? It's an awful cross to begin with, and it's simple defending. Simple defending. And then we've seen it time and time again in football. Once they start to get momentum, they could have gone on and won the game. And I think if João Pedro actually goes with his laces, he scores. He just made a bad decision at the wrong time to go with the inside of his foot. But I thought Trent did okay at times with Matoma one-on-one, but the balance of the midfield in the first half, Harvey Elliott didn't work. I think when we brought Gravenberch on, we took control in the midfield, and I think that's the midfield we should have started with because when Szoboszlai moved to the right, we looked a hell of a lot better. But honest to God, I'm absolutely raging. I'm so pissed off because it's a blatant red card, and even then, we can still go and win the game if Andy Robertson just decides to not be a coward and just gets rid of the ball with his right foot. The fact he pulls out there leaves everyone behind him exposed because it is that bad it's such a poor free kick. Everyone's expecting him to just clear it. And no one can react in time. It's absolutely shocking from a man that's meant to be the Scotland captain for the man that's up there in terms of his role within Liverpool in terms of the hierarchy with the captaincy. What on earth are you doing? You've just cost your club and you've just cost us 2 points. It's absolutely embarrassing.
Yeah, I agree with that. And just in terms of the law regarding this situation, because people are saying if it's inside the box, it isn't a red card. Well, let's look at the still first of all. There's no way that ball isn't getting to the player. This nonsense that he didn't have control of it. Well, I'll tell you why he didn't have control of it. Because he was pulled back. So, deep what you're saying for a moment. Deep what you're saying. Because the player didn't have control of the ball, it can't be a red card. So what you're now telling me is that it's legal in this circumstance to stop a player from getting control by pulling them down, because he would have done. So for me, you can see he's getting to that ball. It isn't moving very quickly. You then look at the law. Denying a goal or an obvious goal-scoring opportunity. So it is an obvious goal-scoring opportunity, but it says where a player commits an offense against an opponent within their own penalty area, which denies an opportunity, an opponent, an obvious goal-scoring opportunity, and a ref awards a penalty kick. The offender is cautioned if the offense is an attempt to play the ball or challenge for the ball. In all other circumstances, holding, pulling, pushing, the possibility to play the ball. Sorry, no possibility to play the ball because he's too far away. The offending player must be sent off. So as far as I can see, when you read the letter of the law, when you break this down to its nth degree, it's 100% a red card. And this is exactly the problem I was talking about last Friday. And we'll see what happens from today moving forward. And I've been speaking about this for many, many weeks and months. Because of what Liverpool happened last week, no one's on Liverpool's side. But that should 110% be a red card without a shadow of a doubt. It's crazy.
But they're going on like the ball was 5 yards in front of him. Like it's in his path and he can roll it in. And more to the point, it's this whole notion that he's not in control of the ball. So what happened when Van Dijk got sent off at Newcastle because Isak wasn't in control of the ball? Yeah, it's still a red card because it denied a goal scoring opportunity.
Yeah.
Where's the logic? Like, you can't pick and choose arguments, and you can't pick and choose can't sit on one side of the fence and not the other. It's got to be consistent all the way through. And this is the problem with VAR, and this is the problem with PGMO, MOL, or whatever the fucking nonsense is. All we ask for as football fans is just consistency. And I don't care if it's a United decision that goes against them. I don't care if it's Liverpool, if it's Chelsea. There has to be consistency. And this is where, and you're never going to see it because you're going to have loads of these absolute idiots with tinted glasses that are just so thingy towards the club that, oh no, I support Manchester United. I can't agree with a Liverpool decision, and vice versa. Everton fans or whoever, rival fans. The only way we are going to get consistency back in this game, and the only way it's ever going to happen, is if we all unite as actual football fans. Because I remember growing up as a kid, I didn't understand football properly. I just loved the game and I loved to play it. We need to come together because it's the only way we're going to get any consistency back in this game. The fact that the Premier League is the most viewed, it's the biggest league in the world, and we have the worst officials is an absolute embarrassment, and it's shocking.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more on that, mate. Rack, we're talking about the penalty situation at this moment in time. We know it was a pen. The penalty was given. Are you shocked that a red card was not given to Pascal Gross?
I was in a space at halftime, and immediately afterwards, I wasn't really that concerned about it. But when you read the letter of the law as you've just spelled out, it's difficult to come up with any other interpretation because it's pretty clear. I mean, this is why last week, by the letter of the law, Curtis Jones's foul was a red card. I can see it by the letter of the law, but then you take all the other stuff into account, and it makes things a little bit less clear. That the Spurs fan was saying that last week was saying that it wasn't. It was simple, but it wasn't. This one, by the letter of the law, is. But I don't really know what to say anymore about referees and stuff. I don't like talking about it at the best of times.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
Overall, I think we could have done more to win the game, and it's a bit disappointing result. And that's. But undoubtedly, this plays a part.
Well, it does, because you score the penalty, and you're suddenly then in the ascendancy. If they go down to 10 men, they would struggle to. I felt like for the majority of the second half, they reasserted their dominance they had in the first half. Could they have done that with 10 men? The answer is probably no. So you have to referee games correctly. And I know some people are saying here that it was not obvious he was cautioned, Terry Waffle. But for me, again, you watch the speed of that ball in front of him. There is just no way, in my opinion, he's not getting a shot off. He's going to shoot. He's going to have a shot on goal. So for me, it was clear and obvious. In terms of the overall performance, leaky at the back again, though. Mistake from Van Dijk for your goal. Terrible defending from Robertson for the equaliser. Talk to me about that side of the game for Liverpool, mate.
I haven't been that convinced by our defence all season, to be absolutely honest. This is why I think that it was a bit more than negligent to not bring a proper defensive midfielder, because McAllister's a good player, and he's done well overall. But you can tell we've got a Fabinho-sized hole in that midfield, and that is the first port of call when it comes to stopping opposition attacks. Funnily enough, Trent was actually pretty decent in defensively today, and it kind of got worse when Gomez came on to replace him. But yeah, we leave a little bit left to be desired when it comes defensively. Thankfully, we have a very, very strong attack, but the attack won't always get you out of problems, which is why I think it's going to be difficult for us to win the league. But I think we'll be there or thereabouts in terms of challenging for top 2, top 3. But we need to be more defensive, more solid defensive, more solidly defensive, and we're just not there yet.
Yeah, Samuel's here with us as well. Would you agree with what Rack's saying there about the defending, bro?
To be fair, like if I take the defending in isolation, I think for most of the time we defended all right. I think it was moments that we were defending poor. Like Mitoma, where was he for most of the match? Like he wasn't really doing anything. Trent defended him quite well. And also on the other side, we were defending quite well. Yes, 100%. We need a CDM, and I've always said that McAllister is a brilliant player, but he's not a CDM. We need to push him to centre mid, and we need to get a CDM in January. And I've always kept that consistent. But like the whole thing, and I said in the group chat that Robertson cost us the game because you see that free kick, and Stroll was right. It was a rubbish free kick. That shouldn't have beaten the first man. That shouldn't have beaten the first man, but it did because Robertson let it go. Why did he let it go? Throw a leg at it. Even if you score an old goal for it, and maybe in his mind he was thinking about last week about Matip, maybe. But if you throw a leg at it, I'm not mad at you for doing that because at least you're trying to defend it, not trying to coward out of it and actually not throw anything at it. That's what got my head hot. The performance in the first half was in attacking wise was poor because we weren't direct enough, and the times that we were direct, we got 2 goals from it. Do you know what I'm saying? We got 2 goals from it. I feel like yes, Brighton had more of the possession. It looked like they controlled more of the game, but I'll say we let them have the ball. But then Gravenberch should have scored, to be fair, and it should have been 3-1, and we should have been comfortable, but we didn't score. They go get a free kick. Robinson does what he does, and we ends the match 2-2.
Yeah, listen, I think a lot of people would agree with you on that. I mean, I couldn't believe, again, Gravenberch not scoring. He's so good. I just, as a United fan, I didn't want you guys to win. I was like, oh no, I slumped in my chair when that ball went across and then it hit the crossbar. It was crazy. There's some super chats here I want to go through. First one says, poor defensive plus Gravenberch, please start over Elliott. Do you guys, is that something you guys want to see now after the international break? He's got his fitness up, Gravenberch, starting over Harvey Elliott in this midfield.
Yeah,
1000%.
Yeah, I think Elliott, he's shot. One thing I've said about Jones is that even though I didn't rate him from before, he's actually improved to a point where you can argue that he should be our starting centre mid or wherever. With Elliott, he hasn't done that. So it's time for Gravenberch to come in, because I had the argument with somebody else saying that, oh, Gravenberch is not ready. And already, I know he didn't score, but he had an effect to the game when he came in. So...
yeah, I think he's kind of been played. Didn't have much of a preseason. I kind of understand why, he's not become a mainstay individual as of yet. But yeah, for me, it almost feels like a no-brainer for you guys to get him into that first team. Honesty here says a draw was fair. We started slow off the pace. We look scared. I see this midfield will get tested. Let's regroup after the international break. Thank you, Honesty. I think they are not giving reds if penalties. It's still a red. I don't know why it wasn't given. Again, I said it all in the week, and I saw so many arguments that I just thought were wrong all week from both sides. This is just about transparency. It's what we need. They've changed the rule now so they can stop the game if that mistake happens. But that's not what we want. That's nice to have. We want to hear. Because if you'd have heard what they said, is it a red card? No. And they explain why. Maybe you go, okay, well, that makes sense. But right now, I haven't seen one explanation in the comments that makes sense as to why it wouldn't be given.